There's actually an increasingly wide variety of components that Microsoft has put in the cloud, and Microsoft is actually terming that cloud Azure, and it's their brand name, an umbrella brand name for a wide variety of products that they're actually hosting at Microsoft-owned data centers. So it ranges from SQL Server to Microsoft Exchange Server to some Office web applications and SharePoint. We do see some customers going to the cloud in part. A lot of the issues around who owns their data and how much trust they have for Microsoft hosting their data at their data center are still thorny issues for a CIO or a CTO. But the driving point is if you have something sophisticated like a SQL Server Analysis Services Cube that might take some real BI techies to set up, Microsoft will do that for you in the cloud at one of their data centers. So only the data that you let flow goes to that cube in the data center, and then they create a sophisticated OLAP cube for you. And that's driving a lot of customers to at least test the water and see what it looks like to have Microsoft take care of a sophisticated cube for them in the cloud. That's one example. Office, SharePoint, and SQL Server are some names that people recognize. So it makes sense intuitively that Microsoft would offer those in a hosted manner, what we're calling the cloud, what Microsoft is calling Azure. So if I'm able to make use of a SQL Server server that is set up and running and will not fail in the Microsoft cloud, it makes sense that if I want to set up a SharePoint portal and perhaps I don't have a cadre of SharePoint administrators, Microsoft will provide that in the cloud. It'll make use of that SQL Server repository, so we've connected two dots there. The third component, which is really quite intriguing, is that components of Microsoft Office are actually being made available in the cloud. So my example as a business intelligence architect today is Excel. I can actually, through my browser, make use of an interactive Excel spreadsheet that you and I collaborate on. It connects to that Analysis Services Cube that perhaps I've allowed Microsoft to host for me in the cloud, and then it appears in a SharePoint portal coming from a SharePoint server farm that again Microsoft has hosted in the cloud. So now I'm making use of Excel from Office, a SharePoint portal, and the repository is SQL Server supported by a SQL Server Analysis Cube for fast slicing and dicing and analysis.